Having debt can be scary. It can make you feel helpless. It can trash your credit and make it hard or impossible to reach financial independence. Sometimes debt can simply accumulate without you noticing it, from making poor decisions with your purchases or student loans. But sometimes it can just come out of nowhere, from a freak accident.
Today we're going to talk about the two main ways of paying off debt and also some tips on how to pay it off quicker. So the first and most popular method is the debt snowball. This is talking about paying off the smallest debt first, no matter what the interest rate is, the least amount of debt first, and then paying that off, and then paying off the next biggest one, the next biggest one. This is made popular by Dave Ramsey. And it's a good way to get momentum going, but it is not the most efficient way. The most efficient way, in my opinion, is what is called the debt avalanche. This entails paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first. So even if your debt is the biggest one that has the highest interest rate, you want to pay that one off first, because that is technically going to be the most efficient way to do this. All right, so before you go paying off all your debt, what you want to do is talk to a professional first if it is an older debt. So if it's 3 or 4 years old, this can actually hurt your credit score to go ahead and start paying off that debt. So you really want to talk to a professional and do some research, look into this on your own. You can definitely find some things out that can help you a lot. For instance, if you go to pay off a debt that is like 7 to 10 years old, you might not actually have to do that. So it is very important, if you have like old outstanding debts like that, you definitely want to talk to a professional. So the first tip is gonna be, go ahead and negotiate your payments down if you can. So let's say you have like a big outstanding credit card debt, or maybe a big hospital bill. Actually, a lot of delinquent debts are never really paid off, so you wanna go ahead and block out maybe like 4 hours to have a phone conversation with them and really negotiate. And you wanna be nice and polite to them, but you wanna make it clear that you're able to take as long as you need to in order to negotiate that down. And you can really you can save an amazing amount of money doing this, dropping it down from whatever it is, 10,000 down to a couple grand, because a lot of times the companies or the hospital, whoever it happens to be, will be happy to take less if they know that they're actually getting something rather than get nothing at all. All right, so now that you've negotiated your debts down a little bit, if that was possible for you, you're gonna have to make some changes in order to start paying this off. So you're either gonna have to earn more or spend less. So earning more, that can be a different video, and if you can do that, you can do a side job, you can work nights or weekends, or you can try to get a different job than what you're at. But that's really gonna take some time out of your life, and that's just for a whole different video altogether. I am all for side hustles, but that's something else. The most efficient thing you can do would be to go ahead and start changing some of your fixed expenses. So your housing is gonna be your biggest expense, and then followed by transportation. So instead of going ahead and cutting out all the little stuff, which you might want to do too, because you really want to pay off this debt, because it's literally stealing money from you while you're sleeping. If your goal is to reach financial independence, then you can't be having money drained out of you. You want to be buying assets that are allowing you to make money while you are sleeping. So the most efficient thing that you can do, and the first biggest thing that you can do, is to work on your housing expenses. So that's going to be the biggest part of your budget. So if you're able to, let's say, get a roommate, or move to a smaller place, or even if possible, move back in with somebody else for a little bit and really save as much as you can, that will make a huge impact on your budget, more than saving that few dollars here and there, although that will help, and you really want to do that as well. Next thing would be your transportation. So you want to kind of design your lifestyle. So if you're able to go ahead and move your place to somewhere that's closer to work, and then maybe you might not even need a car for a few years, so that you're able to cut out that other huge expense, and you're able to Uber if you need it, or rent a car or whatever. That would be a lot cheaper than always having that car, because that can cost a lot of money, especially if it's a new car. And then while you're doing this, you want to avoid debt altogether. That is why I did the last video on how to save $1,000, because before you start paying off debt, you want to make sure that you're not incurring more debt. So there's two different types of debt, really. There's good debt and bad debt. Good debt basically is anything under 10%, which is, still bad, but it's better than anything over 10%. And that would be bad debt. And bad debt you want to treat like an emergency. You need to pay this off right now. You cannot start investing a few grand, or like paying off the little ones or your mortgage first. You really want to focus on the very high interest debt that is really draining a lot of money from you. All right, I'm going inside. It's freezing out here.
All right, we are inside. I made coffee, I warmed up. We're actually going through a bunch of clothes and throwing a ton of stuff out. Doing a little minimalist purge type deal. So let's get back to it. So in order to actually start paying off this debt, you need to know exactly how much money you're making. So you want to start with a budget. As the first thing, you need to know exactly how much you're making, how much is going out, what your debts are, and like all your expenses. So you want to form that budget, and then you got to start cutting things. You got to cut out cable. If you have a second car, cut that out. If you have anything that you can, you have to optimize it. You need to look into your grocery bill and start cutting down that. You need to stop going out to dinner. You need to make changes that will impact it, because if you keep doing things the same way you are doing them, then nothing's going to happen. So you need to make changes. It's going to suck for a while, but you need to do that in order to get to where you want to go, being debt free. And once you are debt free, you can start building wealth. If you formed those habits of saving money, then you can start building wealth, and then that allows you to save up that first sum of money, like 25 grand or whatever it happens to be. That would be a 1 year, one runway that you are able to start investing and building something substantial. Whereas if you're staying where you are, you're just gonna get stuck there and you're never gonna be able to reach financial independence and retire early. So that's what I got. I realize this is a quick overview. I'm not doing like an hour-long video on debt, but hopefully this helps some people out. Thanks for watching.